To call this regular meeting of the Mexico City Council to order.
Councilman Miller. Councilman Nichols. Councilman Lush.
Yes.
Mayor Miller.
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Williams.
Yes.
The first item on the agenda is approval of minutes, April 25th, 2016 work session.
I move for approval of the minutes. Second.
Councilman Lush.
Yes.
Mayor Miller.
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Williams.
Yes.
Now, the April 25th, 2016 regular session.
I move for approval of the minutes. Second.
Councilman Lush.
Yes.
Mayor Miller.
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Williams.
Yes.
Under new business resolutions, bill number 2016-35, a resolution authorizing the city manager to sign an audit engagement document with Williams Keepers LLC. Reading and passage. Mr. Slagle?
Yes, Your Honor. The period has run its course regarding the audit services, so it was time to rebid the contract and look at what was available for services. Roger has done that, and to cover the results, we will turn to Roger Haynes and report his findings.
Good evening, Council. The attached resolution would authorize the city manager to sign an audit engagement document with Williams Keepers LLC out of Columbia, Missouri, for the city's annual audit and assistance in the development of the comprehensive financial annual report. Requests for proposals were advertised in the Mexico Ledger on March 10, 2016, and forwarded to several accounting firms that are known to provide governmental accounting services. The RFP outlined the city's intent to secure a professional auditing firm for the purposes of performing the city's annual audit, major program audits under the Single Audit Act, and assistance in preparation of the comprehensive annual financial report for a 4-year period beginning September 30th, 2016. Responses were due on April 20th, 2016. 5 responses were received from the following firms: Cochran and Head and Vick and Company out of Mexico, Missouri, with their parent location Kansas City, Missouri; KPM CPAs and Advisors out of Springfield, Missouri; Dana F. Cole and Company, LLP, out of Overland Park, Kansas; Williams Keepers, LLC, out of Columbia; Hochschild Bloom and Company, LLP, out of Chesterfield, Missouri. The RFP responses were reviewed for several factors, including, but not limited to, governmental auditing experience, including comprehensive annual financial reporting, audit approach, staffing, relevant references, training, structural and visual appeal of the final product, and proposed fees. A summary of the factors considered has been prepared and attached to this staff report so the council can see the approach taken to select the auditing firm which best meets the city's requirements for an annual independent audit and professionally structured CAFR that matches up with the high standards that we intend. With all factors considered, references checked, and sample basic financial statements and CAFR products reviewed, staff believes the best proposal to be submitted by Williams Keepers out of Columbia, Missouri. Staff recommends council proceed with reading and passage of the attached resolution authorizing the city manager to sign an audit engagement document with Williams Keepers LLC. Outside of the tabulations and analysis that the council is looking at, there was a couple of items I did want to comment on. Although this RFP was for professional services, is for professional services, and pricing is not necessarily the determining factor, I would like to address 2 proposals that were received that were priced below William Keeper's proposal. First was KPM CPAs and Advisors out of Springfield, Missouri. I did contact the proposal, John Cummings, CPA for KPM, since I did not find a comprehensive annual financial report reference within their proposal. I was informed by John that the City of Mexico would be their first CAFR project. We discussed the proposal further, but I was unable to overcome their lack of experience in packaging a CAFR, and therefore KPM was eliminated from consideration. Again, that was part of the actual RFP. And finally, Dana F. Cole and Company out of Overland Park, Kansas. Dana F. Cole and Company did price their service the lowest of the 5 firms responding. However, there were a number of offsetting concerns. Their proposal was quite generic. Their proposal approach and packaging, quite frankly, lacked effort, and especially as compared to the other 4 proposals submitted. As you can see on my desk here, we have 4 well-bound and professionally packaged RFPs we received from Dana F. Cole. This folder with non-stapled, non-punched response, and of course I provided the paperclip to hold it together. The proposal, as I mentioned, was quite generic. Dana F. Cole's 3 references submitted for review, the cities of Camdenton and Pleasant Hill and Raymore. Of course, as council is aware, Camdenton and Pleasant Hill are quite a bit smaller in population as compared to Mexico. Upon review, I found that Camdenton and Pleasant Hill's financial reports were basic financial reports rather than CAFRs. The city of Raymore did have a CAFR for review, but the presentation of the financial information was not at the level that we've come to expect. And again, I have examples of that. Their proposal was limited to 1 major program audit, with each additional major program audit adding $2,000 to the cost. In addition, their proposal stated fees up to $150 per hour should additional research be required to complete their financials and/or CAFR, i.e. GASB pronouncements that may be needed implemented into their report. Another factor was distance. They are 175 miles from our location, which basically eliminated opportunities for on-site training, which we do have with Williams Keepers, and minimal networking, because when Vicki and I go to GFOA type seminars or webinars, it's unlikely that we would be at the same one that Dana F. Cole's employees would be, which is not the case with Williams Keepers. We see their staff there quite frequently. On the other hand, there are pluses that Williams Keepers we must include. They are a known quantity and a proven track record. Again, they've been a great assistance in our achievement of 26 straight certificates of achievement in financial presentation and the award through the GFOA system. On-site training opportunities. Williams Keepers' proximity to us has been of value to us in training, in face-to-face person topic discussions, and their ability to keep up with Mexico's community via the news. I quite frequently, when Mexico hits the news for something good that's happened, I will see one of the Williams Keepers employees tag that and email me and make comments on that, and also offer any assistance we might have if it creates any accounting issues that need to be looked at. Currently, Williams Keepers LLC assists with the CAFR for loggers, which proved beneficial to us this past year and will likely again in the coordinating the implementation of GASB 68, which relates to pension reporting. They do have extensive Mid-Missouri experience. They have prepared many CAFRs for several organizations throughout Mid-Missouri, including the city of Fulton, Osage Beach, Missouri State Employees Retirement System, known as Mosers, the Public School and Employee Education Retirement System, Missouri, known as PEERS, the Missouri Department of Transportation Highway Employment Retirement System, and as mentioned before, the Missouri Local Government Retirement System we know as Loggers. We do have with us tonight Amanda Schultz, who is auditor in charge of our past audits, and Stephen C. Smith, who is partner with Williams Keepers, should council have any questions.
I have one question, and I probably should know this, but this additional major program audit, how many of those have we had in the past?
I'm making a bit of a guess here. I know we haven't had one in the last couple of years. And probably the last 20 years, we may have had between 13 and 15. The threshold for major programs audits has changed. At one time, if you used federal money that hit the benchmark of $300,000, a single audit was required. Then that moved up to $500,000. And then most recently, I think this year, that moves up to $750,000, which we could certainly hit that mark, given if we have the combination of expenditures with our road projects and our airport projects, whether that be this fiscal year or the following fiscal year.
So that may not just be one project, could be multiple projects combined?
Correct.
Within one fiscal year?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Just expressing an opinion, Roger, your disqualification of the two bidders seemed to be reasonable and well-founded, so that would make Williams Keepers the low bidder in that case.
I move for reading of bill number 2016-35.
Second.
Councilman Lush?
Yes.
Mayor Miller?
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Williams?
Yes.
Bill number 2016-35, a resolution authorizing the city manager to sign an audit engagement document with Williams Keepers LLC, whereas proposals have been solicited on performing the city's annual audit and assisting in the preparation of the comprehensive annual financial report, and whereas proposals have been received with Williams Keepers LLC submitting the best proposal. Now therefore be it resolved by the council of the city of Mexico, Missouri as follows. Section 1, city manager be authorized to sign an audit engagement document on behalf of the city of Mexico with Williams Keepers LLC on performing the city's annual audit and assisting in the preparation of the comprehensive annual report for a 4-year period beginning September 30, 2016. Section 2, this resolution shall be in full force and effect from and after the time of its passage. Move with passage of bill number 2016-35.
Second.
Second.
Councilman Lush?
Yes.
Mayor Miller?
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Williams?
Yes.
Okay, the next item on the agenda, bill number 2016-36, a resolution approving the issuance of bonds of the Industrial Development Authority of Mexico, Missouri. Reading and passage. Mr. Slider?
Yes, Your Honor. This is for the Arthur Center, East Central Missouri Behavioral Health Services, doing business as the Arthur Center Community Health. As we commented during a council work session, that these bonds being, we would be a pass-through agent, therefore it does not affect our credit rating. It is solely based on the Arthur Center's ability and credit rating to pay. We are just giving them an opportunity at a better interest rate. So, having that said, I will turn to Russell Runge to cover the details and the recommendation.
Yes, the attached resolution approves the issuance of the bonds of the IDA of Mexico, otherwise known as Industrial Development Authority, and pursuant to that authority given to them by the Industrial Development Corporations Act, they wish to issue bonds in the amount of $6.6 million, not to exceed that amount, to the nonprofit corporation that is also the community health facility and the Hope Center, both located now currently in Mexico. And as Bruce mentioned, this just allows them to be able to have a lower interest rate, be able to save additional monies to do so, and it's based on their strength. All the fees were paid for by them and will continue to be. East Central Behavioral Health Services, Inc. is requesting that the city approve the issuance of the revenue bonds to finance and refinance the project. The issuance of the revenue bonds will promote the economic welfare and the development of the city. Staff recommends that council proceed with reading and passage of this attached resolution.
The Industrial Development Authority has met, had a public hearing, and
They have.
And as this is a nonprofit entity, there are no tax dollars involved as far as loss or an abatement, right?
Correct.
And if they would default, or the federal government would fail to send them their payments,
Everything is purely on them to pay.
but
That
it would not affect our credit
does
rating.
not affect our credit rating. We are in no means in any form legal to pay anything back on them. It's all based upon their strength. If it fell back, it would come back to the banks.
The banks. Okay.
To my recollection, correct me if I'm wrong, these are actually not going to be public bonds. They're already bought
Already bought by the
by two banks.
Yep.
Correct. So the banks have already stated they want the money,
They have, yep.
or they want the bonds.
Okay. Thank you.
pleasure, gentlemen.
I move for reading of bill number 2016-36.
Second.
Councilman Lash,
Yes.
Mayor Miller,
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Williams,
Yes. Take a drink before I read this.
And a deep breath.
Right. Bill number 2016-36, a resolution approving the issuance of bonds of the Industrial Development Authority of Mexico, Missouri. Whereas pursuant to the authority of the Industrial Development Corporations Act, Chapter 349 of the Revised Statutes of Missouri as amended, the Industrial Development Authority of Mexico, Missouri proposes the approval of a project for the East Central Missouri Behavioral Health Services Incorporated, a Missouri nonprofit corporation consisting of financing, refinancing, and reimbursing the cost of certain healthcare facilities, equipment, and furnishings, including the construction of the community health facility at 240 Kelly Parkway and the Hope Center at 1030 West Teal Lake Road, both in Mexico, Missouri. And the authority proposes to issue revenue bonds for such purposes in the principal amount of not to exceed $6,600,000. And whereas Section 147F of the Internal Revenue Code of 1986 is amended, provides certain private activity bonds may be issued following a public hearing and approval by the governmental unit on behalf of which the bonds are being issued. In this instance, the City Council of Mexico, Missouri, and whereas pursuant to a public notice published in the Mexico Ledger on April 18, 2016, a public hearing was held with respect to the project on May 3rd, 2016 at 300 North Cole Street in the city. And whereas the bar has requested the City Council to approve the issuance of the revenue bonds by the authority to finance and refinance the project, and whereas the City Council hereby finds and determines that the project and the issuance of revenue bonds under the Act will promote the economic welfare and development of the city and will be in furtherance of the public purposes set forth in the Act. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of Mexico, Missouri, that the issuance of revenue bonds by the authority for the purposes described above is in the best interest of the city and approves the issuance of revenue bonds by the authority for such purposes in accordance with the requirements of Section 147F of the Internal Revenue Code of 1986 as amended. This approval does not impose any liability on the city or in any way involve the city in the issuance of said bonds, but is an accommodation by the City Council to satisfy the requirements of the Internal Revenue Code of 1986 as amended, passed by the City Council of Mexico, Missouri, and approved by the mayor this 9th day of May 2016. I move for passage of bill number 2016-36.
Second.
Councilman Lash,
Yes.
Mayor Miller,
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Williams,
Yes.
Next item is Bill number 2016-37, a resolution authorizing the city manager to sign change order 1 with Missouri Petroleum Products Company for the 2016 Macro Seal project. Reading and passage. Mr. Slagle?
Yes, Your Honor. This is to do some additional work on the streets. We had some good bids, as you know, from the Microsil project, as well as the asphalt and concrete, to cover the change order and what additional streets we are adding. We're going to turn to Kinsey Russell.
As Bruce noted, with all three of the contracts that we typically issue with our annual street maintenance having been bid, we looked at the additional dollars available in the budget and determined that we could expend approximately $20,000 additional, and determined that the best way to do that was to add to the Microseal project this year. The streets being added are in the Sunset area there east of the Country Club Golf Course, and this does still leave roughly $7,000 in our budget to take care of contingencies, changes that may occur during construction. And with our asphalt project, we have that pegged to an index, asphalt price index, which can go up or down depending on how those prices may change over the course of the next couple of months while that project's under construction. So we wanted to keep a little cushion in the budget for that. Council may be aware that microseal sealing work has been done in Green Estates on the trail. That work was completed last week, and so this would add to Missouri Petroleum's work.
Are we satisfied with the work?
Yes. Missouri Petroleum did our microseal for a couple of years previous, and we did somewhat of a pilot project with the Onyx product that sealed the streets but tracked some. The aesthetics were not real great with it, so we've returned back to the specification product that Missouri Petroleum has done for us in the past.
I move for reading of Bill number 2016-37.
Second.
Councilman Rush?
Yes.
Mayor Miller?
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Williams?
Yes.
Bill number 2016-37, a resolution authorizing the city manager to sign change order number 1 with Missouri Petroleum Products Company for the 2016 microseal project. Whereas the City of Mexico entered into a contract with Missouri Petroleum Products Company for the 2016 microseal project, and whereas change order number 1 with Missouri Petroleum Products Company will adjust contract quantities for 6,749 additional square yards of microseal. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the City of Mexico, Missouri as follows. Section 1, the city manager is authorized to sign change order number 1 with Missouri Petroleum Products Company for the 2016 microseal project to add $2,314.49 to the contract amount. Section 2, this resolution shall be in full force and effect from and after the time of its passage. Move for passage of bill number 2016-37.
Second.
Councilman Rush?
Yes.
Mayor Miller?
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Williams?
Yes.
Okay, the next item under new business ordinance, bill number 2016-38, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to execute a state block grant agreement with the Missouri Department of Transportation for non-primary entitlement program funds for the Mexico Memorial Airport apron expansion improvements and update of Exhibit A property map. Two readings by title only and passage. Mr. Slagle?
Yes, Your Honor. Back in March, we approved an agreement for professional engineering services to do some work at the airport. This grant will help provide the funding to do that. To cover the details of the grant, we will turn to Russell Runge.
Annually, our airport receives $150,000 in federal funds, and over the past 4 years, we have put those funds together so we could do a larger project, which is this apron expansion. This ordinance authorizes the city manager to execute this block grant agreement with MoDOT for our airport expansion improvements and to update our property map, which will show the different property lines. Crawford Murphy and Tilley is the engineering firm that was retained by the city in March, as Bruce mentioned, to do this work for us. MoDOT is allocating to us $76,000 from federal non-primary entitlement funds, which I just mentioned, for the project. The amount of the grant is $68,400, which is 90%, and we are responsible for the 10%, which is $7,600, which we have budgeted for that. Staff recommends the council proceed with two readings by title only and passage of the attached ordinance. That has been posted correctly. The apron work will be done at a later time. The engineering work is currently being done right now to analyze the soil and do all those important things.
What is the benefit of the apron expansion?
Well, currently, and we've run into this a few times, several times actually, our airport is used extensively during the summer by crop duster planes. and they take up a considerable amount of space. So come in, fly in, they'll have probably 900 flights and takeoffs just themselves. And then if you have a citation, 16-seat plane that'll come in from North Dakota for the pellet plant, or sometimes we get planes that'll come in for Centralia at A.B. Chance. We'll have a couple other large planes that'll come in for Home Depot. You get enough of those guys on there and they can't maneuver around. They can't get to our fuel pumps. And then if you have small planes that are in there that are on the tie downs, that are outside of a hangar, they can add that maneuvering, make it that much more difficult. We've needed to expand the apron for a considerable amount of time, and it's lower on the priority list of FAA. So as you recall, the last that we did was sealed and fixed some repairs on the runway itself, which is their primary, obviously, objective. Prior to that, lower on that pole, once again, was to do the actual terminal building. But we had covered a lot of our bases there, and they allowed us to be able to put the money together to be able to build that building. It's important because then we're going to readjust where those tie downs are to get them out of the way, so when we do have those big planes come in, they can maneuver around easier. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, your pleasure.
I move for first reading of bill number 2016-38 by title only.
Second.
Councilman West?
Yes.
Mayor Miller?
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Williams?
Yes. Bill number 2016-38, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to execute a state block grant agreement with the Missouri Department of Transportation for non-primary entitlement program funds for the Mexico Memorial Airport apron expansion improvements and update of Exhibit A property map. I move for second reading of bill number 2016-38 by title only.
Second.
Councilman West?
Yes.
Mayor Miller?
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Williams?
Yes. Bill number 2016-38, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to execute a state block grant agreement with the Missouri Department of Transportation for non-primary entitlement program funds for the Mexico Memorial Airport apron expansion improvements and update of Exhibit A property map. I move for passage of bill number 2016-38.
Second.
Councilman West?
Yes.
Mayor Miller?
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Williams?
Yes.
Next item on the agenda will be the claims.
Move we pay the bills.
Second.
Councilman West?
Yes.
Mayor Miller?
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Williams?
Yes.
Next item is comments. First, we'll start with the council. Councilman Leif.
Well, this was on our table up here this evening, and a very nice-looking report, I believe, that's going out. It's the City of Mexico newsletter, and I glanced through it a little bit. It looks very nice, and looks like you guys did a good job putting that together. So our citizens will be informed as to what's going on in the city, so that's a good thing. And it's good to be able to have a few additional funds to do some more micro sealing. It's always good to improve our infrastructure in the city, so I guess we can thank low oil prices for the additional funds. Thank you.
I'd like to first comment that I've gotten several good comments from the micro sealing on the trail just from over the weekend. The only thing, that they want to complain about is you got some on the grass. It's going to grow. But overall, people seem to be very happy and very pleased with what happened out there. I'd like to thank Public Safety. I know their officers escorted a lot of walkers and bikers on that day. We participated in that event. While I'm on the subject of public safety, I guess the two things I'd like to address is, or maybe you can address, is we've had a lot of car break-ins around town the past few weeks, including my own neighborhood. So are we anywhere on what's going on with that? Or we have any suspects,
We have a nebulous suspect description right now, and we're working off on that, and a lot of it's very little breaking, more of entering, just opening the door, rummaging through the cars. Very little has been taken. It's just been cash and coins and that kind of thing. But we are putting more time spent in with the lights and flashing through the alleys and the houses and things like that. So I hope we get that rounded up as soon as possible.
And then second, I noticed a post, I'm not going to mention anybody's names, but we seem to have the same people running through, and I mean, we're talking guns and stuff. I mean, are we having a problem with the DA? I mean, I don't understand why. I mean, these people are shooting guns, and then, I mean, just recently, the same name is out 2 weeks later with guns again, so, I mean...
They bond out. We do our part. They get a bond, and they're able to bond out.
So something we maybe talk to Jacob about or something, or the judges, I don't know. Just seems kind of crazy that the same people keep coming up, the names come up, and it's always with guns and shooting. Seems kind of, in our small town, not something I think was a great idea, so that's all I had.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment, yes, the newsletter has been produced, the spring one. It should be in your mailboxes. If you haven't, it should be coming shortly. I think most people got it. It also includes the insert this year for the first time, which is the schedule of events for the parks and what's going on there as well. So, very nice piece. Hopefully, it's informative. That's all I have, Brad.
Okay, well, I echo the concern that Councilman Williams expressed, but I will point out that even murder in Missouri is a bondable offense. So,
I know.
there isn't anything we can do about that. That's up to the courts. I see sticks in the ground on Morris Street just off of the pavement. I see construction crews walking around, and not many today in the rain. Does that mean, perchance, that the sidewalk is getting ready to be put in?
The contractor has mobilized, he's done his survey work, layout work, and they were potholing the utilities today until the rain stopped them. And so, yes, they have begun work.
Great, outstanding, outstanding. I don't believe I have any other comments for this evening, so I'll open it up to the public. If you have a comment, please step up to the podium, state your name and address, and try to limit it to 3 minutes.
Thomas Fiedler, 1617 Meadow Lane, and I just want to congratulate City Council, because what you don't know is tonight you made history. For the first time ever, until Councilman Williams started reading that very long thing, I had the whole meeting being live streamed. Apparently that bored the live stream and it crashed on me, but by live streaming the City Council meetings going forward, the hope is, as I get better in understanding the technology, citizens who aren't able to make it here for whatever reason, maybe they're at work, they're just checking in on their lunch break, will be able to hop right in, ask questions real time. I'll be able to see them pop up. We had 4 people sign into it. I don't know who they are, but it's something that what a lot of people might not realize is I'm a transplant to Mexico. I'm originally from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and the steel mills that used to keep that town alive, when they went out of business, we didn't get government bailouts, so we had to find a way to reinvent our city. In order to do that, we showed that we had an interest in technology and highly invested in it, and that attracted Sony to put up plants in Pittsburgh and brought jobs to the area. So when we do stuff like this and we show that we care about technology and moving forward, it might look like a blip, a little drop in the bucket, but it's something that, I don't see Columbia doing this, I don't see Fulton doing this, and as I get better with the technology and we can move it forward more, hopefully people will take notice as well. And like I said, it's another way to get people involved. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the public? Seeing none, I'll move to adjourn.
Second.
Councilman Lush?
Yes.
Mayor Miller?
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Williams?
Yes.